In today's video, I'm going to discuss all the do's and don'ts about skincare in your 30s. Hi everyone, welcome back to SheRocks. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you are new, welcome. And if you're already a part of the SheRocks family, thank you so much for clicking on today's video. If you're new, I'm Sheri, a licensed skincare consultant, and skincare is a big passion of mine. A couple of weeks ago, I put a video on YouTube called The Ultimate Guide to Skincare in Your 40s. And since then, I have gotten quite a few messages and DMs from people asking me, well, Sheri, what about those of us in our 30s? What should we be doing before we get to that point in our 40s? I have your back, don't worry, we're going to talk about it today. Now, while I would love to make a video like this exhaustive, I do want to raise a couple things in terms of what you should start doing and what you should stop doing when you get into your 30s regarding your skincare. This entire video is going on the premise that you have already at least started a basic skincare routine. And of course, that means having a cleanser, a moisturizer, and a sunscreen. If you have not started that yet, it's not too late. Please start now and make sure that you're doing those 3 steps daily and consistently. And of course, remember that sunscreen is the most important thing that you will ever apply to your skin. And in 10 years, you're going to thank me. Also keep in mind that unless you actually have acne or some other skin condition or skin concern that you actually currently managing right now, where you need specific ingredients or specific products or specific medications, this video is going to be a general guide in terms of what you should and shouldn't be doing. And we're trying to keep it as simple as possible. Something that a lot of people overlook, especially in today's world where social media and influencers and people are constantly in your face when you pick up your phone and your devices and you're looking at celebrities or people that you follow and they look like they have perfect skin and they look so beautiful and so glamorous. A lot of us forget that a lot of these people use filters. A lot of us forget that AI is highly involved in videos, video editing, photos, etc. And we also forget that genetics play a huge role when it comes to how a person ages and how signs of aging show up on each individual. While that might be so, one of the things that I have noticed is that I'm having a huge influx of clients in my skincare consultations in their 30s, particularly mid-30s or so. And they are coming to me for signs of aging. They are noticing things happening on their skin and they are concerned. But I'm also concerned because the signs that I am seeing on people that are in their mid-30s are what we will generally see in somebody who's probably in their 40s or 50s. Some of you may be seeing signs of dehydrated skin, dullness, the fine lines, some wrinkles. And besides the skincare and the skincare routine which we will go through, we have to be mindful about what we put in our body and what we put on our body and what we surround ourselves with. So I'm not just talking about the food that we put in. I'm talking about the lifestyle, what we drink, are we smoking, are we getting enough sleep, what about stress, and just adulting in general. All of these have impacts and those impacts actually show up on the skin. In your 30s, however, it is the best time to do preventative skincare. And when I say preventative, I'm talking about you want to do things that's going to delay for as long as possible or really allow you that process of aging gracefully when it comes to some of the visible signs that we see that tend to be a bother for people. While it may not be drastically visible at this time, you have to remember that in your 30s, you are already losing collagen and elastin, and your body has slowed down its production of collagen as well. Your skin cell turnover is not like how it used to be in your 20s, and that's why you should start exfoliating a couple times for the week. And the UV damage of not wearing sunscreen for the first 3 decades of your life start to show some visible signs. Let's start with my 5 do's for your skincare routine in your 30s. And again, this is based on the premise that you are already doing a cleanser, moisturizer, and sunscreen consistently in your routine. Please don't start any of these other tips that I'm going to mention if you're not already doing those things. So the first thing, and one of the most important things that you can add into your skincare routine when you turn 30, is a retinoid. And unless otherwise prescribed by a skincare professional or a doctor, you do not need tretinoin. All you need when you get into your 30s, because we're talking about being very preventative, is a regular gentle retinol. You could look for retinol that's 0.1 to 0.3%. Most of the retinols that you're going to find from skincare brands that you could easily purchase are going to generally fall in that range. And this is where you're going to see the impact in the long term. Because you have the time, you can actually use a gentle product, use it over the long term, and you will be able to get the benefit of your retinol without having to see significant irritation. Using a retinol with sunscreen in your 30s is one of the best things that you could do in your skincare routine. Now, please do not look for overnight results. Skincare results come with time and consistency. And consistency is not just 1 or 2 or 3 months. We're looking at using something for 3 to 6 months at the minimum and continuing to use particular ingredients during a routine for years. The next thing you should absolutely start doing in your 30s, if you didn't start yet, is to start treating oxidative stress and hyperpigmentation. And you're going to be like, what? Okay, so let's break this down a bit, because a lot of the same ingredients will help you with both of these things. So first, the oxidative stress. So you may hear people talking about antioxidants and using them in your morning skincare routine. That is because free radical damage happens just from waking up and being exposed to the environment. Worse yet, if you go outside and you're exposed to the sun, you're exposed to things like the Sahara dust, whatever is in the air, pollutants, etc. All of those things are creating oxidative stress on your skin. And every evening, when you sleep, your skin goes into repair mode to try to fix that. Having products and ingredients that is going to help to prevent that oxidative stress as well as help the skin repair is going to be important. And a lot of these antioxidants are also helpful for preventing hyperpigmentation. So you might be saying, but Sheri, I don't have hyperpigmentation issues. Why do I have to start using products to prevent hyperpigmentation? Well, you see, in a couple of years, there's something called age spots that show up because of accumulative damage. There is hyperpigmentation that happens because of the aging process. And this has nothing to do with melasma. This has nothing to do with metabolic syndrome. This has nothing to do with acne spots and other types of post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. There is hyperpigmentation that will naturally occur because of the aging process. The idea is that you just start getting those ingredients into your routine. It doesn't necessarily have to be a very strong product. All you really need is a little bit of niacinamide somewhere in your routine. Combine it with an antioxidant. Get a tyrosinase inhibitor in one of your products as well, because you don't necessarily need a separate product. It could probably already be in your toner, maybe in your night cream. Maybe you want to get a serum for this, because when you look at other people in your family, you can see that genetically you are inclined to probably also develop age spots in a particular way. Now is the time to do all the groundwork to keep things bright, clear, and under control. Next step, and something that a lot of people don't talk about, is to start masking if you can. Now, this is not going to trump the first points that I mentioned, but a lot of people don't realize that using at-home masks 1 to 2 times per week is a real underdog in a skincare routine. You wouldn't believe the benefit until you're actually doing it consistently, maybe for 2 or 3 months. Some people can see the results very, very quickly. But really and truly, doing a mask, even if you can only do it once per week, and choose what you need. Maybe you want something to give you additional hydration, maybe something that's brightening. You can even do your exfoliation via a mask, and that's going to contribute and really, really help your overall skin. Next point. Start hydrating your skin like crazy. And yes, even if you're oily, you need to hydrate. This might mean adding a toner, adding an essence, adding a hydrating serum, depending on your skin, depending on your skin type, depending on how minimal you actually want to keep your routine. Or it could simply mean bumping up the actual nighttime moisturizer that you probably already use. You want to make sure that it's rich and replenishing and it's preventing transepidermal water loss, especially at night. But even if you're oily, I know sometimes like the people with dry skin, they might think like moisturizer is an automatic thing, and a lot of people with oily skin are still skipping moisturizer. You have to remember that even though you're oily, your skin can actually be dehydrated, and dehydrated skin shows the signs of aging much faster. You would be surprised at how long a little bit of hyaluronic acid or some peptide or even a really nice plumping moisturizer in terms of what it can do for minimizing the appearance of fine lines and just making the skin look more youthful. This one might be a little bit debatable, but start using an eye cream. Now, if the moisturizer that you're currently using is a plain moisturizer, no crazy actives like probably very strong retinoids or very strong exfoliating acids are in your moisturizer, then it might actually be fine for your under eye area, because what you really want for your under eye area is a product that's going to keep it very moisturized and supple. If you're noticing other issues that you specifically want to address with the under eye area, then you may want to look at a specific eye cream. And this is where a lot of people tend to get tied up. You see, eye creams are formulated taken into consideration that the types of actives that we will probably use on the face for similar issues might be too strong for the under eye area. The skin in your under eye area is a lot more sensitive than the skin on the rest of your face, and therefore eye creams are formulated for this purpose. Now, something that is showing up a lot in people's 30s might be the dark circles, but there are many reasons for that, and that's a whole other video or a whole other discussion. But the key thing here is making sure that you address the cause of the dark circles and not just running into the beauty supply store and picking up any eye cream that says it's going to work for dark circles when the ingredients in that particular product is addressing a particular cause of dark circles that's not your cause, and then you get disappointed and you say that the cream is not working, etc, etc, etc. Like I said, another topic for another day. You really want to start focusing on hydrating your under eyes, because those fine lines, crow's feet, etc are going to start showing in the under eye area first. Let's talk about things that you need to stop doing. Number one, this thing where you come home and you do not remove your makeup and you go to sleep. Y'all, I did that a couple times in my 20s. Yeah, let me confess. If you have never had acne or you've never had any sensitivity issues with your skin for your whole life, and you're in your 30s and you're still doing this nonsense, you are setting yourself up for problems, sis. So my advice is please at least remove that makeup, at least cleanse that face before bedtime. Number two, you see the wipes? No, they need to go. In your 30s, your skin resilience is not like it was in your 20s. And sometimes the change is not so drastic, so people don't realize until much later on that certain bad habits accumulate certain results and consequences, and then you want to be able to fix those things in a very short period of time. But the thing about it is the problem was caused over a period of years. So wipes might seem to remove makeup, and honestly, if you're in a pinch or probably traveling and so on, or going to use it in the short term, I have no problem with that. But really and truly, while they will remove some makeup, what they actually do is smear a lot of product around. They can actually be quite abrasive. They can also disrupt your skin barrier function. I'm talking especially to the people that use wipes to cleanse and don't actually just use the wipe to remove whatever and then follow up with a cleanser. Your skin is not clean. Your skin is not clean. And let me just put in a shameless plug here for the double cleansing method. Start doing that in your 30s, please. And I personally like to use cleansing oils or cleansing balms. You can also use micellar water as your first cleanse. And a lot of people will say, but I don't wear makeup, so I don't need to do it. Yeah, but there's dirt and there's grime and there's sweat. And especially if you're like me and you live in the Caribbean and it's very, very humid, you would be surprised at how much there actually is on your skin. And I also know that the majority of people are not using their cleanser long enough. So a lot of us think we are cleansing our skin properly, but we're actually not. So let's work on proper cleansing in our 30s. Number three, don't feel like if you're actually now starting your skincare routine in your 30s that you need to play catch up. Listen, I understand. A lot of this information for a lot of people is brand new and you're like, oh my God, I'm supposed to be using sunscreen. I'm supposed to be cleansing my skin. I understand. Everybody has a place to start. And if you're starting in your 30s, welcome aboard. It's not too late. However, what I do not want you to do is jump in and start to use the strongest thing you could find because you feel that you need to play catch up. Doing that could create problems for you. Your skin could become even more reactive. It could become more irritable. So as I always say, start slow and start low. work your way up. Find your sweet spot in terms of ingredients and percentages that is going to work for you. Don't worry about the fact that somebody younger than you is using something that's stronger than you. You're going to get there, and everybody's skin is different. You need to find a skincare routine that's going to work for you. And it's important for us to understand that sometimes you might have purchased a product and it may have irritated your skin, or it may not have worked out for you. And then we might say the product isn't good. A lot of times the product actually wasn't for you. That's all. It's not that the product isn't good. It's not for you. It's for somebody else. And when it comes to skincare, a lot of trial and error, especially if you don't understand skin, you don't understand your skin, you don't understand products, there's going to be a lot of trial and error sometimes before you actually find like the best products for you. And on that point number 4 is stop trying to figure things out yourself. If you've been blessed to not have skin issues, just say thank God. That wasn't me. But if you're battling to create your routine and you've been doing this a while now, just go to a professional that you can trust. So it could be somebody like me who is a skincare consultant, and we are trained to actually design skincare routines for people based on their skin type, their skin condition, their skin issues at a particular point in time, what their goals are, what their allergies are, what their sensitivities are, etc., etc., etc. But sometimes your skin issue is an actual medical condition that requires you to see a doctor or a dermatologist, because you may actually require medication, whether it is something topical or probably something internally that you need to address. A lot of people run from going to doctors for varying reasons, but sometimes it is the only thing that's going to bring significant improvement to the issue that you're having. I cannot tell you how many times there are people who book consultations with me, and then I actually have to tell them, okay, listen, I need you to see a doctor before I actually create a skincare routine for you, because I know that you're going to be requiring some type of medication. I'm not a doctor. I cannot prescribe, but I can help you go in the right direction. Go to your doctor, get the thing that you probably need to use for a week, a couple weeks, a couple months, etc. Then what I can help you do is create the routine to help support that process. And then once the particular issue is resolved or under control, then we can actually have a skincare routine that's going to help to manage that and prevent it probably from getting to the state that it was before. I also have a lot of people that message me and say, Sheri, I have tried everything. I'm done with this skincare thing. And I ask them, well, what have you tried? And they send me 3 products, 5 products, 10 products. And I'm like, that's not everything. There are thousands of products, thousands of formulations out there. And a lot of people try some really weird things, like they may buy something and it's not even related to the particular issue. I might have somebody contacting me and saying, I have the worst acne. What are you using? Hyaluronic acid. Okay. Which actives are you using to treat the acne? Hyaluronic acid. No, is hyaluronic acid beneficial? Yes, but you actually need your retinoids, your salicylic acid, your benzoyl peroxide, or perhaps you actually need meds depending on the state of the acne. As you can see, I could go down the rabbit hole when it comes to this topic. But in your 30s, if you can, in 2024, get serious about your skincare. If you can, watch my videos, taking information from other skincare professionals who know what they're talking about and design your routine, that's absolutely wonderful and great. But if you can't and you've been going around in circles for years and years and years and years, it's time to get professional help. Yeah. And point number 5, and like I said, this video is not exhaustive. There are a lot of things that we can't talk about, but I just wanted to throw this in, and this one might be a little bit controversial. And that's, in your 30s, I don't think you need filler. I really don't think you need filler in your 30s. Again, it's everybody's individual choice. But if you haven't been doing any skincare routine and you haven't been using sunscreen and you haven't been hydrating and you haven't been using your retinoids and stuff, and then you just decide, oh my God, okay, I'm just going to get filler and so on, like, that's not going to be the answer. I'm telling you, it's not going to be the answer. And if you are going to do it, please research it. Please ensure that you get it done by somebody, a professional that knows what they're doing. You really don't want to end up with filler migrating into weird places. And then you're like, why is my face looking like this? Then you have to worry about dissolving it. And then you have other issues. And you probably find that you're actually looking older instead of looking younger. There are a lot of things that come into play when we take certain actions before the time it's actually necessary. So what I will say is that if you are considering filler, please do your research. Do it only if it's something that is absolutely necessary. But in your 30s, I'm really not sure that that's actually what you need, despite what social media, despite what a bunch of celebrities might be doing. Yeah, I said it. So if you're in your 30s, I hope that this video was helpful for you. Leave a comment down below. Share it with a friend, a sister, auntie, a brother, a cousin, your fiance, your husband, your friend, whoever. Please remember to like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in another video soon. Take care. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.